Well, hello, my name's Hamidi, and for this exclusive video on the Korda website, I'm fishing and filming in Holland for the very first time. We're on a typical lake that's around Holland and Europe, a deep pool, a public lake full of carp. But the beauty of this is I'm going to be using a method that a lot of you probably haven't used in your fishing, especially in Holland. I'm going to be using Zig Rigs. So the idea is going to be to show you exactly how to use it, how to get the best from it, the baits, the rigs, everything you're going to need to start putting fish on the bank using zigs. As you can see, it's been a really successful day. So I'm going to put this fish back and hopefully you'll enjoy the film. The first thing you need to do when using zigs is actually finding out the depth of water that you're fishing in. So I haven't really got a clue what it is out there. I'm going to be casting towards this water outflow that's pumping up. There's a lot of fresh water coming into the lake. A lot of fish are going to be congregated around that because I've already noticed the anglers here are all fishing quite close to the bank. So it's natural for the fish to be pushed out to the middle. So why not fish there? That's exactly what I'm going to try to do. So first job, get the float out. Got a braided line on this. That ensures there's no stretch in it, so I get maximum sensation down the fishing rod. So, but it's not imperative when using zigs, because there we go, right to the edge of the water. Now I'm going to feel this down on a tight line. I can almost feel this really deep. There we go. So a nice firm sandy bottom, because I just felt it hit the bottom quite hard. And then literally I'm just going to pull it away a little bit, and then quite simply tighten up to the lead so I know the float is on the bottom of the lake. Release the quick drag on the Bazier, and then simply just release 1 foot at a time. It's basically 3 feet to 1 meter. So 1, 2, 3, that's 1 meter, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Right, so we know it's 21 foot right on the edge of that water. So that is, if I divide it by 3, roughly around sort of 7 meters deep. So really deep. So it is perfect for fishing zig rigs. There's going to be a lot of fish out there, but very few of them are going to be on the bottom of the lake. So it's important to get a bait up there in amongst where the fish are. So now we've found the depth, I'm going to put it in the clip, pull the float back down, and then mark out the distance so I can fish right out there where I think the fish are. So just going to pull the float back down till I feel the lead. There you go. Rod tip pulled down there, felt the lead, put it under the line clip because that's going to mark my distance. Nice and easy. And then bring it back in. So we've got our mark sorted, and then I'm going to be able to assess what level I want to fish. I'm probably going to start with zigs maybe 2 foot under the surface. So probably just under 1 meter or half a meter under the surface. That's how I'm going to attack it, and then assess how it goes. If the fish I'm catching fish well there, but if I think I should be catching more, then I'll either go up higher towards the surface or come down lower based on the amount of fish I see on the surface. So marker floats are done, time to get the rod sorted. Right, the time has come now to put the rig out. So let's show you the Zig Rig itself, because I know a lot of people in Europe don't like to use them. They haven't got a lot of confidence in them, but it really is a simple and brilliantly effective method. So firstly, the rig couldn't be simpler. That is actually, believe it or not, a piece of yellow foam and some black foam underneath it. Now, it looks red. The reason it is red is I've actually added a little bit of goo and I've left it just to sort of settle in the sun, and that dries onto the foam on the outside, so it gives me a longer release time. If I just put it on wet before casting, it will all dissipate within maybe 10 minutes, it's all gone. But drying it on will make sure it's leaking off for up to 30, even 40 minutes, okay? The longer you dry it, the more you put on, the longer it will leak off. So 2 bits of foam, just a small amount. The black is actually for the silhouette. As the fish come underneath it and look up, it silhouettes against the skyline, so you get the colour that way. When they swim over the top of it, they see the colour, which is the yellow or the red in this case, looking down. So you've got it working both ways. That's why I've got 2 colours. The actual rig is really simple. Just a loop in the end and then a knotless knot, nice and tight to a size 10 mixer hook. It's really important to have a tight hair, because when fish are coming in over zigs, they'll often snatch at the bait. If you've got a long hair, they could take the bait and no hook goes in their mouth. So keeping it all nice and tight, and just there, have a look, a small piece of silicone. That just keeps everything nice and streamlined, leaving the eye of the hook. With this sort of 8-pound cruiser control mono, it could leave the eye quite acutely. That closes the gape up. What I'm trying to do is have the gape as open as possible. So that little bit of silicone, which is 0.75 mil, that just makes sure everything leaves nice and straight. And here I've got literally 6 meters of cruiser control down to just a very simple inline system. This is a 3-ounce distance with an anti-tangle sleeve pushed over the swivel. What that does is it actually helps to kick the zig away, okay, because it's a long bit of hook link and people will often worry about casting it, but I simply cast it exactly like I do a normal fishing rig, but this anti-tangle sleeve just helps to push that hook link away, and it's fishing tangle free every time. And then just a tail rubber on the end. Everything's done. Really simple, but really effective. So it's time to get it out there. A nice top tip for you when you're using zigs is to actually keep adjusting the colour of the foam that you're using. A lot of people, they'll cast out, they might not get any action and they'll just presume zigs aren't working. That isn't the case. Just changing. Look, in this tub I've got reds, I've got whites, I've got yellows, I've got bits of cork, I've got bits of black. They're all swimming in the Pineapple Supreme goo, but what I do is adjust that goo leaks off, and then I've got the colour there. So top tip, change the colour of your foam, take plenty with you and experiment. Well, the rods have been out for a little while, about 25 minutes, and it's roared off. It's taken a little while to get that cloudy spod mix into the area, just to get the fish excited. A lot of bait now, and I'm starting to see fish rolling in the cloud, and definitely getting into a frenzied mood now. And this is literally about half a metre under the surface. I'm going to bring the old mate Ernesto in to do the honours with the net, if we get it that close. Come on, Ernesto, get out of that shade. There's clearly a little snag or something under the rod here. They definitely, once they come close, they seem to like this area. Tell you what, they don't fight here, really do pull all the way to the net. Absolutely, like, tear around. They have so much energy in this weather. Get in that net. Yes, well done, Ernesto. Woo! My first Dutch carp on camera.
Very good, mate.
Well, have a look at this. A lovely double figure Dutch mirror carp taking on those zigs. So what I'm going to do now is show you the spod mix. I bet you're dying to see exactly what's in it and how I put it together. So put this one back and have a look at that. Right, time to show you that spod mix. Here we go. So in here, the first thing you do is actually put in a bit of Hinder's nut sludge. I put probably about 2 or 3 pints at the bottom of the bucket first, then some tiger nut meal. Tiger nut meal is brilliant at making a cloud, and that's what you're trying to achieve, a real cloudy mix that's going to hold in the water column and get fish coming into it. Once I put in, again, probably about 2 pints of tiger nut meal, I then add some of the mainline Cloud 9. That's again a really lovely, milky powder that goes in there that really works nicely. Then some activated hemp mix. Again, that sort of moves around a little bit in the water, okay? It shoots around, just giving it a bit of activity in the water column. And then some hemp, a nice, probably again a pint of hemp, that chili hemp, nice and salty. I put it in there, and again, The hemp tends to dry out in this, so you get bits that float, some that sink, some that hover around. Again, that's really, really important. And then after that, I add some sort of evaporated milk. I keep a couple of gallons, I take it with me when I'm zig fishing, pour it into that bucket, stir it up, and then all you've got to do is once you come round to the swim, just add water. And what you're trying to achieve, if you have a look at this, look, it's quite sticky. It's not watery and it's not totally dry. The drier you make it, the higher it will hold up in the water. The more wet it gets, the quicker it will sink. I like it sort of a medium consistency, so it hangs around in that sort of foot below the surface down to maybe 2 meters. It'll be holding around there and it'll keep them really activated and interested in the area. And when that dries off, just add a little bit more water. And basically, just before I put it out there, really simple, spod goes in, like that. Put a bit in there, show you what I do, into that. And just to finish it off and complement it nicely, this really makes a big difference nowadays. A nice bit of peach goo, and that keeps that smell and taste in the water a lot longer. I've noticed that I have to put a lot less spods out now to keep the fish interested. That goes in there and you just get those spods out. So I've got no rods in the water. I'm going to get the rods back out, and next we're going to talk about the frequency of spodding. Well, got the rod straight back out, a few spods over the top, and that's really important. You know, when you get a fish in the net, it's always good to get the spod out first to keep the fish there. So I recommend maybe when you start the session, put about 7 spods out over the zigs. That's normally my starting point. 7 spods of that cloudy soup into the area, and then once you've settled, some lakes you go to, it's interesting because they will take the bait when you're spodding over it, almost as the spod lands. This lake tends to react more when the spod hits the bank. So it's almost like the spod, the sound of the spod, they don't love it, you know, but they do come in shortly after into the smell and the taste. So it does vary from lake to lake, but once you've started catching fish and you've got the fish in the area, then I recommend maybe using 2 or 3 spods over the rig straight away. If you've not had a bite, then give it a few minutes, put a few more out, and just keep topping it up like that. It really is an enjoyable method because you're always at the front of the swim, you're always putting bait out, and you know, if you're sitting down, then the chances are your swim won't be reacting. You know, what you need to do is keep the fish in the area, keep them active, keep the bait going in, and the fish respond, just like this one. People always like to use heavier hooks and lines, but really with zigs it's all about finesse. So small hook like that little size 10 mixer and the 8-pound cruiser control mono, that really is all you need. But these fish have got quite big mouths, so a slightly bigger hook is helpful just to catch them as they mouth it. Here we go. Oh yes, get in the net. Excellent.
Well done, mate.
Well, literally got that other fish in the net and the other rod's off. And that's the beauty, when you start fishing zigs well and the bait's in one area, both rods can go at the same time. It's really, really effective like that. I think this is a grass carp because seems to be fighting quite erratically. Man, I don't know, I'm not sure. There's just so many fish out there now. Out she goes. So we're now going to try to net 2 carp into 1 net. Well, there you go, 2 pretty much at once. We've put the smaller one back, but I tell you what, this one's got a bit of size to it. Probably not far off 20 pounds if it isn't 20, but very welcome. And the fish are coming like London buses now. So I'm going to put this one back and hopefully catch a few more. Well, there you go, another sprightly touch mirror carp, and to be honest, we've lost count of how many fish we've had, and I'm absolutely shattered. I've really enjoyed myself, and it just goes to show if you get on them zigs and do exactly what I've shown you today, you can be enjoying action just like this. Thanks for watching.